A couple of big announcements today from Premier Doug Ford that will bring some changes to how Ontario copes with the pandemic. The government is ramping up testing for COVID-19, and because of that, the Premier has changed his mind from just yesterday, and now he says he will consider opening up by region. That means if you live in Toronto, York Region, or Peel, where 82% of the cases are, those areas will likely open up last.
We want to know how the virus is spreading. We want to know how many people each new case is infecting. The more data we have, the better we understand what is happening on the ground. And having that information is what will help us determine the best path forward, because the reality on the ground is different in every part of the province.
The new testing strategy announced today will send mobile units into COVID hotspot neighborhoods and workplaces and will target industries like auto manufacturing. It is welcome news to epidemiologists like Colin Furness, who has been highly critical of the government's testing strategy to date.
This is a big step in the right direction.
What do you like about this new testing strategy?
Well, it's identifying the fact that we need to not just sit and wait for sick people to come to the hospital, but that we need to go out and look where the risk is and consider managing that proactively.
The government has struggled to meet its testing goals, and this new increased testing means it will most certainly have to increase capacity far beyond the 20,000 a day the system can handle. Although officials wouldn't pinpoint what that target should be, Colin Furness guesses it would have to increase to 100,000 a day and points out schools will have to be a priority when they reopen.
We're going to need to be doing testing at every school. We're going to have to test teachers. We're going to have to test them frequently. Now is the time to plan for that.
Premier Doug Ford has been under increasing pressure from his own ministers to open up regionally in ridings where COVID-19 is far less prevalent. But he says it's the new testing guidelines that have convinced him to change his mind.
We have more testing. We have a better scope on what's happening around the province. That's what allows us to make these decisions.
It opens up a new set of challenges, though. How do you stop people living in hotspot areas from driving to less restricted areas to, say, get a haircut? The Chief Medical Officer of Health believes it will come down to trust.
So far, we've had a great cooperation from our Ontario citizens, and we would hope to include that if we did a regional variation.
Quebec, Manitoba, and New York are opening up regionally. The Chief Medical Officer of Health hinted that regions with few cases that are close to hotspot regions like Toronto may not be able to open up either.